Okay, first thing, I just want to talk about these little giant ladders are the coolest thing. I love how each side is individually adjustable. Makes it so much easier. Anyway, purpose of this video, I have my hpop lines leaking again. These are those cheap eBay ones. Especially this side over here, it's leaking a lot worse. Anyway, my main thing is I'm probably gonna get the riff-raff lines or the CNC lines, but the back of the block and the top of the transmission and the whole transmission is all covered in oil. So you can kind of see if I can get the camera where I want it. Everything's covered in oil back here. There's a bunch of oil down there. My thing is, though, I don't want to mess with the turbo pedestal if it's not leaking. But it's hard to tell if it's leaking. To me, everything on the pedestal just looks like hard, caked up oil. It doesn't look like fresh oil. Let's see which way I can get to it from. Can't really see it from down there. The turbo pedestal looks dry. It just looks like it has a bunch of caked up oil on it. What do you guys think? Just replace my hpop lines and see if that fixes it. I mean, I know for a fact the hpop lines are leaking, and it just doesn't look to me like that turbo pedestal is leaking. It looks to me like it's pretty dry. It just has caked up oil on it. Definitely got a good bit of oil down there. I know we've been over it before, but I forgot the conversation. Did y'all think the riff-raff hpop lines were better or the CNC fab lines? So bear with me for a sec. Sorry about that. Okay, you can see all the oil all over. The back of the block is soaking wet up there, and the whole side and bottom of the transmission are soaked. It's even back here at the drain plug. I think I have a transmission leak somewhere, but I can't show it to you right now. But some mornings I'll come out here and there'll be some, that's oil there, but sometimes I'll come out here and there'll be right on the bottom of these little nipples, and on the drain plug there'll be a little bit of transmission fluid. That's oil, but sometimes I do see some transmission fluid on there. And that shifter housing's wet. I still haven't put a gasket on that, or I think Ford, I've made forms about all this stuff, and all of y'all have told me all these things, but I've been so busy lately I forgot everything. I think y'all told me Ford specs call for gasket maker, like gear oil gasket maker on that shift housing. And I'm hoping that's where my transmission leak's coming from. And another question, do y'all know the part numbers for these transmission lines? Because I replaced one a while back that was messed up. and leaking. And you can see kind of from here, it's way too long. And it kind of sticks up and hits that radiator shroud up there. And then I had to route the hose down. It was the automatic. It said it was for an automatic, not a manual. But that's the only transmission lines the auto parts store could get. And I couldn't find the manual ones online either. I thought they would be the same, but they're not. Well, that's where I'm at right now. I figured if the hpop lines were leaking this bad that I'd be able to see it while the truck's running, but I cannot very well. I mean, I put a napkin under it and it got the napkin covered in oil after a little while, but I guess when you're running down the road, there's more pressure behind it. It's going to leak more. It's definitely leaking a lot though. And it's mainly this side, but both sides are leaking. So anyway, riffraff hpop lines, the JIC lines, or CNC fab JIC lines.